Hey guys, it's Amanda with the Pretty House team and with Palm Harbor Coastal Living. Welcome to Pretty House Pow Wow. Woo, 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 woo. It's one solid blue. That's an attorney for you. So today you are getting the best of both worlds. I once read that the top 3 hated types of people were car salesmen, attorneys, and realtors.
Oh.
So 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
So you are going to fall in love with 2 of the most hated people in the world, realtor and an attorney. So this morning on the Pretty House Pow Wow, I am going to talk to you with my dear friend Margie Swope, who is a partner and owner at Swope Law. And we're going to talk about things that you're doing wrong, some things you could do right, and ways to be prepared the minute you get in a car accident. Because if you were driving on 19, you're going to get in one. It's just going to happen. It may not be your fault, maybe your fault. Either way, just avoid 19, but you're going to get in one. So Margie has graciously taken about 45 minutes out of her day to come talk to us a little bit about some of the do's and don'ts after you get into a wreck. So first, I want to introduce Margie. Margie, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, where you went to law school.
All the boring stuff.
All the boring stuff.
Well, I live in Palm Harbor, so I've been here for about, oh my goodness, now 15 years.
Okay.
Which is odd for me.
So you're a lifer. Are you normally, do you move around?
I do.
Why?
I think I have gypsy blood.
Ooh.
But regardless, my parents moved me around a lot when I was younger. And
were they wanted by the FBI or
no,
military?
My dad just had a really important job that moved us around.
Oh, what was it? Can you tell us?
He was the North and South American something, I don't know the title, for Hyundai construction equipment. So Korean company.
So they would just move you everywhere. Oh, so you must be really good at making new friends, probably.
I met you.
Well, there's one. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, I didn't know that about you. So this is like a life, you're going to live here. You're going to be here. 15 years is like a record for you.
Yeah, I don't think I'll stay forever.
Oh, that's mysterious.
Well, I don't know. My husband and I, the one thing I told him is we have to travel. So it's kind of hard to own your own business if you're constantly not in the same place. So so we have kids, so they'll just.
How many kids?
2. They're my stepchildren, but they're mine.
Yeah.
And so they keep us here.
Yeah. And where are they in school? Do you want to share that, or do they not want to?
Sure. The oldest is at USF. Go Bulls. And
now, is that the game you took us to?
Yeah.
That was fun. Those people know how to party.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's really fun games during the football game.
Yeah.
Like the tire thing.
I know. It's fun.
It really is. I mean, going to Georgia, like, you don't have, it's just about the football. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, you don't even, I've never seen anybody walk on the field in Georgia game. But like, at that game, there were like people like doing like halftime games. It was awesome. It's like, I liked it. It's like your hometown team.
Yeah.
Is it the hometown team?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. That's cool. And then your daughter?
And then the youngest goes to Palm Harbor.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, awesome. So you've been here about 15 years, and your husband, you said, what does he do?
Same thing. We're business partners in life.
2 attorneys.
Yes.
Working together, side by side.
Always.
Always.
All the time.
Huh. So when you come home at night, do you talk to each other, or?
Yes.
Huh.
Surprisingly. And I try not to make it about work. Or at least I try and make him not talk about work.
I don't even know. I don't even know. So the dog is feeling really antsy. I don't know. She really seems to like Margie. So the dog is out today. That's interesting. Also, the decor, I know you're all thinking, where did she get that? It is incredibly beautiful. And it is. My son has a holiday obsession. He doesn't care which holiday it is. He will decorate far too early for every single holiday. So right now, we are in full Valentine's Day mode. I don't know if you can see the hearts are dangling from my light fixture. I would touch the webcam, but it freaks me out. And then we have the bowl as well. Nothing in it because I have no willpower. So I've been the sweets out all week, and we talked about that earlier. So if you're wondering why the decor is like that, it's because Valentine's Day is going to be here in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're ready. I hope everyone else is. Oh, yeah, you better be ready, girl. Okay, so we are going to talk about do's and don'ts after you have a wreck.
Yes.
And not just like a tragic smash, total wreck, but like any kind of fender bender, tippy tap kind of thing. So you're going on 19, you're at the light, somebody thinks that it's time to go, you don't go fast enough.
Right.
You just tap.
Right.
Just a little tappy tap on the bumpers.
Right. So
what do you do?
So 5 things that I would recommend that people do when they're in a car crash, that oftentimes they come into my office and they haven't done, which is surprising to me. But of course, a lot of people have never been in a car crash and they don't know what to do.
And when you get in a car crash, you're just like,
right. And
what's happening?
And you're not thinking straight. You've got a lot of adrenaline. You're in shock. You're mad, oftentimes. And so you don't always think about these things. But the first thing you want to do absolutely is to take pictures. Not only of your car, but of the car of the other person. That gets missed a lot, the other person's car, because 9 times out of 10, I'll get an insurance company who tells me that the damage to your car is not that bad. Well, you should have saw the other guy, but we didn't take a picture of the other guy's stuff, and they just think that I'll be magically able to get this evidence from the insurance company later, and that sometimes doesn't happen.
Okay, so always, always, always. So you get in the wreck, you obviously make sure that everybody's okay. You turn your rage down because you just need to. Right, I'm working on that. But anyway, turn your rage down, and then you take pictures of the other person's car first before you forget. Because if you don't, then it's gone forever, and now you've lost that chance to prove something. And then you take pictures of your own car. Okay, so we've taken pictures, but there's not a lot of damage. Like there's just like a little scratch here, a little, barely even anything there.
Still take the pictures.
Okay, then what do we do?
So you definitely want to call the police. Now,
even if it's just a little tiny dingy ding.
Even if it's a little tiny dingy ding. And I'll tell you why. So I had a woman come to my office who had been involved in a crash, and it was 2 F-150s that hit one another.
Oh,
so they can take a pretty big hit without a lot of damage, physical damage that you see. Well, they left the scene. And this is also rule number 2, why you call the police. And the woman now says that crash never happened.
Oh, the woman who did the hitting.
Right. So the woman who came in and talked to me.
So she probably had some injuries after.
About an hour later. Because a lot of times your adrenaline is so high, you're sort of in shock from what's going on that you don't always instantly feel your issues. You start to get sore later. Well, she didn't call the police. She didn't document the other person's information. And so we had to track her down, and now the woman's claiming it never happened.
Oh, wow. And she probably took no pictures because there wasn't any, she didn't think there was anything to take pictures of.
No pictures.
There wasn't a police report.
No police report.
Oh, so that's a she said, she said.
Yeah, it's a she said, she said.
Well, I would say that you better look really honest in court because it's going to be real tight. I hope she has small boobies. I just think big boobies, I have them. Anytime you have big boobies and you go to court, I've been to court a lot. I fought every speeding ticket. I was speeding. But anyway, when you show up in court in big boobies and a button-down shirt, it's like pulling, and you automatically look guilty.
Yeah, maybe.
You need to wear like a non-button down. I don't know your client, but I'm just telling her. If you are trying to go to court, you need to wear non-button down. Very little V-neck if you want to look innocent.
We definitely advise our clients when we go to trial about what they should look like.
It's important. I watched at least 800 episodes of Law and Order, so I'm basically an attorney.
And that's exactly what trial is like.
Isn't it? I object. You're in contempt. Abstained! No, I don't know what they say. Abstained! I don't even know. Whatever. Everybody is, there's always a mistrial option. Abstained! See? You can totally do it.
You're wrong.
Okay, so we've taken pictures of the other person's car. We've taken pictures of our car. We called the cops. Okay, wait. This is not something that I had talking to you about, but can you move the vehicles out of the road?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you're supposed to move the vehicles out of the road if you're going to be causing other crashes, because actually that person that hit you could potentially have some liability if they're causing other crashes.
Okay, so get off the road.
If you can, obviously, safely. If you can't safely, then you stay put.
Right, okay, but get off the road if you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so taking pictures, called the cops. Now you drive away. Now what do you do?
Well, you definitely want to call an attorney. And I know that sounds like it's self-serving to me, but it's true because you don't know what you don't know. There are so many legal pitfalls and things that maybe you should have done that you didn't do. And so even if you don't plan on filing the claim, making the claim, pursuing the claim, it's free to talk to personal injury attorney, most personal injury attorneys. I don't know of any that charge you for that. I don't, certainly. It's free to consult with us and know what your rights are and know what the process is like and understand, you know, oftentimes so many people they're really surprisingly worried about their car. Mm-hmm. My car got hit and they're hurt, but they're more concerned about that, you know, that their Lexus got totaled, which I get. In this day and age, we can't get around anywhere here in Florida without a vehicle, and I understand, but they take less care of themselves than they do about making sure that they get their car fixed.
I mean, my car's got seat warmers, so
that's important right now.
That's right. See, yeah, today I'm like,
you only need it like 5 days out of the year.
I'm going to use it. Okay, so, well, then I guess it's take care of yourself. So if you aren't like broken bones, do you need to see a doctor?
Yes. So if anything, I mean, if you feel 100% fine, then no. You know, obviously you don't need to go see anybody. But if you are even the least bit headache, minor neck pain, any sorts of pain, you should at least go and see somebody for it because of the law, essentially. Florida says that you've got 14 days in order to treat with a medical professional or else a coverage that you have on your vehicle, personal injury protection coverage, it will no longer pay for your medical care. And that's a whole other subject on insurance, which I totally can get into if you want me to, but that could be.
Nope, we're back. What happened? Did I nod off?
Basically, you want to make sure
that we want to pay someone to tell us what to do.
I know. You basically want to make sure that you get in to see somebody so that this money benefit that you have that helps pay for your medical bills is available to you. Because if you don't and you try and tough it out, men are notorious for this, you try and tough it out, if you go up to the doctor on the 15th day, you no longer have those benefits.
And 14 days sounds like a long time sitting here, but if you get in a wreck on a Friday, and then you're like, it's fine, I'll have wine tonight, it won't hurt, I'll be great, and then you get through the weekend, and Monday comes, you got tons to do at work. I mean, that's already 4 or 5 days gone.
Yeah.
And if your car is actually messed up and you're dealing with the insurance and the auto mechanic, and if you're already dealing with the insurance, that might also be, anyway, it just sounds like 2 weeks could go by super quickly. And if you're hurt, I would think your body's going to start healing itself.
Right.
So you want to see someone to have just like the papers that say, like, here's what happened, like the day it happened, instead of like 4 days later. Couldn't they say that like you did something else in that 4-day period?
Sure. I mean, the insurance company's going to say a lot of things. If you wait a long enough period of time, they're going to say you weren't hurt enough. Even if you were on your couch for 4 days, inconsolable, and you just hate the doctor, and on day 5 you couldn't handle it anymore, and you went and saw somebody, they're going to use that against you, that you waited 5 days. You must not be that hurt. That's the argument.
Oh, wow. Okay, so don't be tough. Go to the doctor. Now, you didn't say emergency room.
Right. So here's my theory on the emergency room. The emergency room is great if you're dying.
Like dying.
It's an emergency.
Like
did you break a bone?
Are your parts hanging out?
Correct. Did you hit your head? That's important too. If you hit your head, go, because you need that CT scan. But if you didn't hit your head, if you didn't break your bones,
if your parts aren't hanging
you're not dying, and you can physically make it an appointment to get somewhere, you can even go to urgent care. Avoid the emergency room. And I say that only because it's a very expensive way for them to tell you you're fine and you need to see another doctor. They'll take CT scans, they'll take x-rays, and nothing against hospitals. Like if you feel more comfortable going to a hospital to get checked out because you just don't feel right, go to the ER. But ER
is really for emergency room.
Correct. Like it is for, like I said, you think you're gonna die. Because 9 times out of 10, I'll have people who do go to the emergency room, and the doctors will tell them, you have a muscle sprain strain, you're not dying, you'll be fine, here's some prescriptions, follow up with a specialist in a couple of days. And they'll hear that they're fine.
They'll never follow up.
And then they don't follow up, but they literally still have problems. And so then a couple of weeks will go by, and then they're still having issues, and then they come see me, and I let them know, hey, you should be seeing somebody who deals with inflammation, muscle strain. Maybe you tore a rotator cuff. They don't see that at the hospital. They don't, so maybe you need an MRI. They do,
So unless you're dying or you've hit your head, go to your doctor or an urgent care.
Right?
Okay. Oh, and I don't think we mentioned getting the other person's info.
Absolutely. Always get it.
My phone's on vibrate and I'm sitting on it. That dick on my phone. Okay, good.
Always, always, always.
Okay, so is there anything that we shouldn't do after we get in a car wreck?
Yes. Okay. This is a big thing too, and people are super guilty of doing this because
A lot.
they don't think about it. Do not post about it on social media, like we're on social media.
Like right now. So don't come on Harbor Coastal Living and say, hey, I just got in a car wreck. I'm not that hurt, but I want to see if you guys can recommend a personal injury attorney. Why wouldn't we do that?
So, okay, so here's the deal. I have nothing against the sites where people are asking for recommendations for people, but it does a couple of things. One, your social media history is mined by insurance companies the second that you're in an automobile crash. Just because they want to see if you said, I'm okay, I'm fine, no big deal. Maybe you said something was your fault. Maybe you're asking for the personal injury attorney and they want to show, you know, to a jury potentially that you instantly were trying to, you know, make a claim. They try and use that against you, even though it's well within your rights to be represented. But they try and throw shade on people who are asking for those things. And those things are black and white forever. Mm-hmm. So if you put it out there and then someone starts asking you about the crash and you start talking about everything about the crash.
As soon as you post something like that, all your friends are like, oh my God, girl, are you okay?
Right.
And even if you're like hurt, you still don't want people panicking. So you'll say like, oh yeah, I'm just a little banged up,
right.
Or
exactly.
I should be okay, you know, for drinks next week or whatever you say.
Right. Right.
But they are going to screenshot that.
Absolutely.
And then the insurance company is going to try to use it against you.
Absolutely. And they have these investigators that even if your claim isn't big, they automatically run these searches on all your social media platforms looking for all of this. And even if your site is private, they can request it later if you file a lawsuit. So they can ask for the last 3 years of your news feed and all your posts and all your pictures of you smiling, which what do you do in pictures?
You smile.
Right. Even if you're hurt, if someone says cheese, you're not frowny faced.
Right.
And they take this picture and they say, look, this happened.
You were happy 2 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. And that gets used against them too. So social media is like the biggest problem right now, at least from my perspective.
I mean, it's a problem all over the place. It's obviously not a problem here in our safe space. And I haven't been in a car accident, so I've got nothing to hide. I mean, I've got stuff to hide, but not about a car accident. So, okay,
right.
That's a huge one.
It is. It's just a big,
keep it off social media.
Keep it off social media. Yeah.
Or you could always do the personal injury attorney recommendations, asking for a friend. Or no, just stay off. Just stay off.
Asking for a friend. Everybody knows what that means.
Everybody knows what that means. Okay, so you don't go on social media. You get home after your car wreck. You've taken pictures of their car, your car. You called the cops. You saw a doctor. You got their information. How do you choose an attorney besides just the very few billboards around town?
Well, US 19 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country, hence the billboards.
Oh.
So my suggestion to most people is to really listen to those word of mouth referrals, and to meet with a couple of different injury attorneys before making up your mind. I mean, you're not going to really get to price match attorneys because everyone in this industry charges the standard fee. So you're not really going to.
Oh, there is a standard fee?
Standard fee. It's, you know, what the Florida bar allows as far as fee limits. And so there's a standard fee. You're really not going to get a better deal per se somewhere else, although there are certain areas where you might. One of those areas, it has to do with costs, because it costs money for me to bring a claim to the insurance company. I have to purchase medical records, I have to purchase the crash report. There are certain costs that I have to purchase that at the back end of everything, when things get settled, I get reimbursed for. Well, some attorneys will charge a $500 storage fee to keep your file and a $150 administrative fee, and they'll charge you for postage, and they'll charge you for copies, and they'll charge you for phone calls.
That sounds like a bunch of junk.
Yeah, and we don't do that. So you can actually see in the fee agreement how the costs are handled, and you can see that that's one of the things that you can compare between law firms.
But basically the numbers. So how would you request that? If you're meeting with somebody, do you say like?
So when you're in your initial meeting with an attorney, you will have the fee agreement that you are to sign in order for us to be retained. You will have the language where you can look and see the differences. And any attorney is going to let you, there's a 3-day right of rescission for all attorney fee contracts with a personal injury attorney.
Oh.
So what that basically means is you have 3 days to change your mind. So you can go ahead and sign today with me, sign today or tomorrow with someone else, and then within 3 days you can cancel with one of us and still, be not on the hook for anything.
Oh.
So you can compare apples to apples.
Fee agreement.
Fee agreement, yeah. It's called a contingency fee agreement. We only get paid if we're successful. And
do most attorneys operate in that way? You don't get paid unless you...
No.
Okay.
No. So family law attorneys, criminal attorneys, those types of attorneys, mostly they're by the hour.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay. So if you don't win, you don't get paid.
Right. Right. The other reason why you want to meet with maybe a couple of different law firms is because it should be a red flag to people if when they go to that initial meeting, if they're not meeting with an attorney.
Oh, okay. So like I call your office and I say, I've been in a car accident, I want to meet with an attorney and figure out what my rights are. I show up and then there's your paralegal or is it a case manager or what do they call it?
Right. So it could be an investigator, it could be a case manager, it could be a paralegal, it could be anybody else but the attorney. And really you should be meeting with an attorney. If you're not meeting with an attorney on your first meeting, chances are you will never meet with the attorney.
Oh.
Or hear from them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a big red flag. It's important. I mean, that's one of the most common complaints in my profession is that my attorney never calls me. I've never met my attorney. I only talk to a case manager. I don't talk to, the legal professional that I hired. That's the biggest complaint.
But that's perfectly legal for them to do. It's just
sure. It's just not a great way to do business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, but it's common. It's common, very common in my profession. Yes.
That would never fly in my business. Like if I showed up to list somebody's house and I went like, this is my admin, Allison. She's awesome, but she's gonna do everything. So I'll just be back at the office, like managing the files.
Right.
Is it just because they're turning out so many cases that they have like a little army of caseworkers?
I think that's part of it. And it's also this theory that we're very important. Right. And I mean, we're important. But I am wearing a blazer. Fancy. But we're not, our boss is the client. Are we too important for our boss?
Nicely said.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
I would be fired, right?
Yeah, I fire you. Right then and there. Get out, woman. Well, you tell your boss. I said she's fired. Okay, that was good. Okay. Is there anything else that you should look for when you meet with your attorney? Besides that you're meeting with the attorney, are there any questions that you specifically ask? Does it matter where they went to law school? Does it matter how long they've been here? Does it matter where their office is located? Does it matter? Does any of that matter? Does it matter if what percentage of cases they settle versus what percentage of cases they try?
Sure.
That matters.
Sure. Okay, so where you went to law school, not so much. I mean, if it's important to you, then maybe, if you don't like Florida State, and you like Florida, go Gators. Not to cut off any.
Or Knowles. Either way, I don't care.
I'm a Bulls fan. If that's important to you, ask away.
Okay.
But you got your law degree, you passed the bar. Experience matters. Obviously, ask how long they've been doing it. That's a plus. Obviously, you don't want someone who's only been in practice for like a year. Maybe not.
Does it matter what percentage of their practice is personal injury?
To me, it does. I mean, think about it.
Right.
I like
90% family law.
Right. I like to think about equate lawyers to doctors. You go see a cardiologist for your heart. You go see a pulmonologist for your lungs. Your general practitioner doctor is not going to be as well versed in a heart injury. Do they know about it? Sure. Did they go to med school? Sure. Is that their specialty? No. So you want somebody who specializes for sure. So that is important, and very important is how many cases settle versus go to trial, because a lot of people who do what I do, they don't litigate cases. And some people don't understand why that's important.
Why is that important?
Well, okay, so most people don't ever want to set foot in trial. That's not the goal, is to go take your case all the way to a jury trial. That's not the goal. However, the insurance companies know which law firms will go to trial and will sue on your behalf if necessary, and which ones don't. And the settlement offers that they make to those clients are accordingly. So if they know that they can offer you $5,000 and you're returning $5,000, and they're not going to file a lawsuit or move off of that offer, and $5,000 is all they'll take, well, what do you think your attorney's going to try and do? They're going to try and push you to take $5,000 because they do not file a lawsuit and take anything further. The ones that do file a lawsuit, hi baby.
I don't even know what she's barking at.
I don't either. They do get better settlement offers. And so it's important to know when you are talking to an attorney, do you take your cases to trial? And are you going to be my lawyer basically from start to finish?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. So you need to know what percentage of your cases go to trial.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. So just percentage of cases going to trial is a different conversation.
Oh.
Because the percentage of cases that actually go to trial in my law firm is 1%.
Wow.
Right, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to go to trial.
You don't want to go to trial unless you're being forced to go to trial, which means the insurance company is either being extremely unreasonable, or sometimes the client is not very realistic about what their injuries are worth, which can happen. So, I'm at the mercy of my boss,
the client. Mm-hmm.
My job is to give them legal advice about what I'm used to seeing, but I have to do what they want me to do. Okay. So, it kind of goes both ways. But 9 times out of 10, it's definitely the insurance company that's being unreasonable, and they force your hand. So that's the 1% that actually goes to trial. 99% of my cases settle. I would say 70% of my cases settle without me ever having to file a lawsuit, and about 30% go into litigation. The ones that go into litigation are your difficult ones, your T-bone accidents where someone's trying to say maybe they had the green and you had the green, so it's a he said, she said situation, or the insurance company is trying to say that the injuries that you had were pre-existing. So this, even though you were in this crash, that back injury you had from volleyball 10 years ago, that's really what your problem is. So those are the ones that might end up going to trial as opposed to settling.
If anyone was concerned about the barking, a palm frond has fallen from the tree. So it's terrifying. I mean, we could have been murdered by the palm frond. Oh, bless her old heart. Anywho, okay, so that's good to know. Good question to ask. Oh, okay, so I noticed your billboard on 19. Bright pink background. And did it say injury law for women?
It does.
Okay.
So I do represent men as well, but injury law for women really kind of came about because I was seeing more and more women clients who were having more specific issues that I felt weren't being addressed, because men and women are different. Mm-hmm. Perfect example of this is people, logically understand this when I explain this to them, but they don't think about it when they think about car crashes. So everyone knows that women's hips are different than men's hips because we're built to rear children.
To birth them babies.
Birth them babies, right. So our ligaments in our hips are actually stretchier, and our hips are actually wider, which can cause us to have a lot more lower back injuries when we're a belted driver being rear-ended. Just the different physics of the hips in women. Those are some differences that we pay attention to. Emotional issues. My women are totally more emotional about car crashes than my men are, typically, or men are and they just don't want to talk about it because they're not trained to talk about it.
We'll have my therapist on in a few months and she can talk about that.
But honestly, women who have small babies and they can't pick up their babies anymore without pain, that kind of trauma, if you will, has a whole other level.
Well, yeah, because you can't pick up your baby, you feel like a failure as a mom, and then the mom guilt kicks in, and then you try to pick up your baby, and then it probably makes it worse, but you have to pick up your baby.
Right. So, I mean, there's an element of damages that come with that. It's more than just physical. So it's stuff like that. I touch on that stuff and talk with my women about about ways that we can make sure that the doctors are actually documenting these things, as opposed to your neck hurts and let's focus on your neck. Well, what about, you know, what about the fact that I can't sleep at night?
Right.
And then my baby's crying, and then I'm irritable, and then I'm gaining weight because I can't work out, and my husband doesn't love me anymore. And
girl, I never liked him. If he didn't love you because you gained a few pounds because you got in a car accident, to the curb. I'm just kidding. Don't leave him. But
there's just a lot, right?
There's a lot.
That's more specific to women than it typically is to men.
I can't imagine that there's many doctors that understand that.
Mostly women doctors.
Well, yeah.
And there's nothing, no.
We're not trying to man bash.
No. I have plenty of men doctors that I work with that totally understand. And they do a really great job of recognizing it and understanding that it's not a woman thing. It's the injury thing.
Okay.
But there's some great ones.
All right. I wondered on that. Okay. Fun question. Okay. So what is one thing that most people don't know about you?
Wow. I'm kind of an open book.
Are you?
Yeah. I like to fish.
Do you? Okay.
I have some
inshore, offshore?
Offshore.
You like offshore fishing? Okay.
I like offshore fishing, yeah.
Do you and your hubby go together, or do you like to do the charter boat thing?
No, we go together. We've got a boat. We're going to the Keys in March.
Will you take the boat down?
We will. Yeah.
Can you drive the boat down? Can you drive the boat from here to the Keys?
So we totally can.
It's a palm front.
we totally could drive the boat down.
Sorry, let me help her. All right, you won. You won the palm front war. I'm gonna get her out of here. Tell me about the boat.
Oh yeah, we totally could. We could totally take our boat down, but we're gonna trailer it down.
And where do you stay when you go to the Keys?
So we stay in a lot of different places, but my favorite's Isla Morada. This time we're staying in Marathon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's
Just
great
the two of you?
fishing. So we go with a couple of other couples.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Do the women there like to fish too?
They do.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's kind of addicting if you've never done it before.
We've only gone lobstering,
Really
but I've never
huge
done deep
fish.
sea fishing in the Keys.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And you guys know the spots to go, and you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we get good food.
When are you going in March? I don't mind going. Okay, what is your favorite cuss word?
Oh no, can I even say it?
You can spell it.
My favorite.
Your favorite.
Okay, like one. So favorite.
If you could only say one cuss word for the rest of your life.
Man. So I'm gonna sound like kind of a trucker, I suppose. It's totally the F word.
Oh no, that's a great word.
It's versatile.
You can use it in so many different occasions. It can be a verb. It can be an adjective. I think it could be a noun.
It can be everything.
It can be everything.
It can be how you feel.
Yes. SHIT is also a good one for that, because you could do it. You can feel like you've been that on.
I don't say that one as much. Unfortunately, my job is extremely stressful. So I probably am a bit of a sailor.
Yeah.
I try very hard not to be.
I'll say FS a lot together when I get off the phone. Okay, so any questions from Margie Swope Law before we head out? Oh, there's one thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't put on the list. So Margie started a really awesome organization about a year ago.
Oh, I don't know when we started it.
2 years
And it
ago?
wasn't just me.
I just like to keep saying that so that someday she'll just acknowledge she's the president. And it's called Women-Owned Business of Tampa Bay, and it's in Palm Harbor.
Right.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the organization?
So it's different from some of the other organizations that are out there for women, because it's specifically women who own their own business. And we do things a little differently because we come together to support one another, but we also support women's charities around our area. So just recently, we went and supported the Lynn Fund, which is a great charity that helps women who have had cancer. And so we get together on every Tuesday and every Wednesday.
Yes, second.
Wednesday. Why did I say Tuesday?
Second and fourth?
Second and fourth Wednesday of the month at a lovely woman-owned business in the area, Chicken Salad Chick on Alderman and 19.
Lindsay is so lovely. She'll be on in a few weeks, but she's so lovely to let us come there before they're open.
Yes.
And we set up shop, and it's an intimate group of ladies who all get like when you own a business and you're a wife and a mom, or you're a single mom, there's so many levels of commitment that you're juggling on any given day that there is just an understanding that we're going to cut through the crap. I mean, we get it. You're sick. You don't feel good. Your kids are acting like jerks. Your job's being a buffoon. Like, all these things are going on. You're still trying to keep your husband happy and put food on the table. And yet you want to do more. And I feel like, had I not joined the organization, I see the events on Facebook, like, oh, come to Carmel, which was the Lynn Fun thing that we did, or come to, you know, drumming, or come to the Pinellas Pack-a-Snack. And I want to do those things, but then I get home and I take my bra off, and once I take my bra off, I'm not putting it back on. But if I have other women who are like, we are going to do this,
right,
then I'm more inclined to go and do it. And so for me, I've really enjoyed getting to know women who put their money where their mouth is and are actually making a difference in their community,
right,
and realize, like, a bigger picture, that it's not just about us and our little houses and our cars and our little lives. Like, we can help other people live happier, better lives.
Right, and it's
really
about our community too, you know, shopping local, supporting local businesses, making sure that there are philanthropies in the area that we're supporting. Because, I mean, you can give your money to any old charity, and you can support any old business. I'm not going to name names, obviously, but the ones that are, you know, homegrown here in our backyard, where, you know we're helping put food on the table of your kids, my kids, Lindsay's kids. You know, that's what makes the community thrive. So
and gives us that, like, small town feel, which I like so much.
Right.
You know, being from a small town. So if you have interest in Women-Owned Business of Tampa Bay, our next meeting is the 6th.
Yeah.
At 9:30, Chicken Salad Chick. We have a Facebook page, Women-Owned Business of Tampa Bay, and you can go in and ask to be a member, and I think you and I are admins, so we can add you to that. We do require that you actually come out of your house to meetings. That's the tricky part. You can't virtually be a part of it. And Margie is also going to supply us with the do's and don'ts checklist. Yeah. And I'm going to put it into the body of this little powwow so that you can click on it. You can save it on your phone as an image, so that when you get in a wreck, you just open up that little to-do list and the to-don't list. And remember to not go on Facebook and tell everybody you got hit, but you're fine.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Because if you do that and you call Margie, she gets so upset. And she hangs up the phone and she uses her F word. I know. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. The Pretty House Team Powwow. Margie, thank you for stopping by. You did a great job. And if you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. Thanks, guys. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.